Well, the paint sector is coming in for a bout of competition. Now, with incumbents expanding their capacity while new entrants are on their way as well, what lies ahead for the paint industry? Well, Mangalam has gone across to the big ball to give us a special report. Mangalam?
From हर घर कुछ कहता है to जब घर की रौनक बढ़ानी हो, the paint industry has been an incredible supporter of the India's home improvement sector. Let's take a look at the interesting insights and trends in the sector, which until now was seeing status quo, but a lot of competition as well. Status quo means 59% of the market share is with Asian Paints, followed by Berger at 18%, Kansai Nerolac at 15%, and Akzo Nobel, the makers of Dulux paints, close to around 7%. This has largely been the case for the last many years, give or take a few percentage points, but now there is a lot of supply coming in. The paint industry in India is expected to add 2.5 million kiloliters. That's the capacity addition in the next 3 years, which is currently, it's about 20% of the current existing capacity. The total capex outlay for the industry as a result of which this stands at 20,000 crores, 50% of which will come in from the big boy Grasim, and Asian Paints also, fearing this, has amped its capacity expansion up with 8,000 crores committed, and the others talking about 2,000 crores. When it comes to investment distribution of this money, Jefferies reports that 80% of this actually goes into building the plant and working capital, whereas 20% goes to building the distribution as well as the branding, etc., which is accounted for in the P&L. Let's talk about the tall targets that new guys are talking about. Grasim targets to be the #2 player after Asian Paints. JSW Paints also putting in serious monies there, aims to capture 10% of the market share by FY26. Nippon Paints, which is already the #2 player in Tamil Nadu, is eyeing Karnataka, and big targets coming in from relatively small players like Kamdenu, as well as investments coming in for Shalimar as well. If you just move forward and look at the situation right now as far as capacity is concerned, Asian Paints' current capacity, close to 1751 million litres, will increase to 2636 post its expansion, so near 50% jump out there. Berger Paints too, current capacity at 620 million litres, will increase to around 1100 million litres post expansion. Indigo Paints, a relatively new player in the industry, also eyeing a near 20% expansion in its capacity, and 290 crores have been committed by Kansai Nerolac in increasing its capacity as well, which currently stands at 600 million litres. Remember, for the paint industry to see so much supply, the question is there enough demand? Perhaps yes, and more, because the industry experts expect the demand to grow at an annual pace of 11 to 13%, which is about 1.2 to 1.5 times the GDP. It all boils down to two things in who wins the market in the paint industry. It's distribution and marketing. As far as distribution is concerned, Asian Paints is head and shoulders above everyone, just like in capacity as well. 75 to 77,000 distributors in the country, whereas Birla White, through its cement, has 54 to 55,000, 70% of which are actually also a part of the paint network. Similar numbers for Berger and Kansai at 31 to 35, whereas for Akzo Nobel and Indigo, it's anywhere between 15 to 18,000 dealers. It's worth noting that 70%, like I said, of Birla White's dealers are part of the paint network. Finally, let's talk about the spends on advertisement. Incumbent players have ad spends of less than 5% of their sales, whereas JSW spends anywhere between 15 to 20% on advertising. As per Jefferies, all this data raises some interesting questions for us to ponder. The first one, will incumbent players continue to hold forth through brand and distribution strength? The second one, can new players actually manage to gain both margins and market share? Third one, are lower margins the new norm for the paint industry? And the fourth one, could there be some M&A action in the industry? And finally, for all investors, the question is, should heightened competition lead to PE derating for the industry? Because for the longest time, these companies have been trading at extremely elevated